How about you? Well, hi there. Happy Friday. May the 31st, 2019, and I'm Eric, talking at you as always from beautiful downtown Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, where if the government is really covering up the fact that they have knowledge about aliens, why can't they do anything else that good?
Really sad but good question.
Like, that's a pretty fucking amazing conspiracy theory. If it turns out to be true, because they can't cover up anything else. Anyway, that's the best I could do on short notice. How's it going, Gord?
Good, my friend. How you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. Long, busy, stupid day. Very unproductive. Nothing went the way it was supposed to go, kind of thing. But
so just like every other fucking day.
Yeah, not all is lost. But we'll see. Could be. We'll find out next week. Yeah, not much to report. I had a job interview today. It did not go well. No, just wasn't. You always want to be one of two guys in a job interview, right? You want to be super professional guy, or you want to be like casual, cool guy, or a great combination of both. And these people were not looking for casual, cool guy to show up. They wanted super ultra professional dude, and he wasn't ready for the interview.
Well, fuck them then.
Yeah, pretty much.
If they don't know what they're missing, then they can just suck a dick.
I'm coming in for another interview next week. They asked me to come back. It was kind of like, ooh, swing and a miss. Why don't you try again next week?
I'll give them credit for that, I guess.
Well, it was two ladies, so I knew I had a foot in the door anyway. When there's two ladies doing the interview, you're fine. I am, anyway.
Yeah, one of my best interviews in my life was actually with a woman.
Yeah,
so,
it's
true. Actually, I had a really good one with this one lady, and another time when I went to work at this one company, I'm sitting there. They said, "Okay, we just got to wait for the girl from the office to come out to do your interview." I'm like, "All right, yeah, I'll just chill here." I'm just sitting there waiting, and then all of a sudden, this girl comes in, and she never looked up at me. She just sort of sat down and was just going through the paperwork and everything else, and I just sort of looked up on him. I'm like, "Hey, Vanessa." And she looks up, she's like, "Gord?" I'm like, "Yep, how you doing?" She goes, "Oh my God." She goes, "This is great. I'll have a good interview." She says, "Hopefully you get a job." I said, "Oh, I'm getting the job." So you're awfully confident. I said, "Yeah." I said, "Remember that fucking party that I had where you were caught fucking a buddy of mine on the fucking bathroom floor?" And she's like, "What about it?" I said, "I'll tell everybody that fucking story if you don't give me the job." She's like, "You wouldn't." I'm like, "Look at my fucking face." She's like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Yeah, so I'll just pretty much have this job. That's good." She's like, "Yeah, you're hired."
Yeah.
So I got the job.
I've never pulled anything like that to get a job. I was on the other end where a girl walked into the video store I was managing in Calgary. It was called VHQ. We never had them in BC. But I was a store manager at this one, and this girl walked in, and she was just, my jaw hit the floor, and I babbled something and said, "You're hired." Like, she handed me a resume, and I was just like, "Yeah, you're hired." Just melt your face hot. Just ridiculous. She was terrible at her job. Actually, she only lasted about 2 weeks. But that was, That was terrible. Don't hire pretty girls just because they're pretty. It doesn't work out. Then she was.
I mean, the working out thing is depending on how you're looking at it.
Well, they tend to not be always the best employee. And I was married at the time anyway, so it's not like something was going to happen. It was just all around a stupid bad idea. That's a bad idea. People don't hire based on looks. Unless you're hiring for like a modeling magazine, then probably do.
Yeah, that would make sense.
My advice doesn't always apply to everybody. Like, don't hire for looks unless you're a modeling agency. Then that's what you're supposed to do. Then do that. No one wants a bunch of uggos on Sports Illustrated. I don't care how much equality they demand. Even ugly people don't want to look at ugly people in magazines.
No, that is true.
That's true, everybody, just so you know. Nobody likes ugly people, especially not ugly people, because ugly people remind them how ugly they are.
Yeah. Unless they're really violently ugly, then it's like, well, okay, I don't feel too bad now.
Violently ugly.
I've always liked that term, being violently ugly. So ugly that you just want to cause violence against
That is amazing. Speaking of violently ugly, before we get too far, I saw on my... you ever read the Google News?
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, last night I was just don't know why I hit the button by mistake or whatever, and it popped up with the 25 worst WWE characters ever. Holy crap, was it ever funny? I won't do it justice by naming a few of them off, but absolutely brilliant. If you guys can find it in your Google News there, definitely look it up. It was just brilliant. These are all pretty much after I had stopped paying attention. So I'm not too familiar with them. But a lot of them are characters that are there now, but they just had really bad gimmicks to begin with.
Yeah.
And then they became something else. Like, I can't believe how many of the really popular ones were something really shitty before they changed it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Some of them were just hilarious. The costumes are just bad and like cheap homemade crap.
My still favorite of all of them was the almighty, the legendary Leaping Laney Poffo.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That is legendary. That's going back.
He's the guy that everybody knew of because Leaping Laney Poffo used to come out with frisbees, and he would have a poem written about the guy he was about to fight.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, then he'd throw the fucking frisbee out, and then he would lose amazingly at the fight. That was when you fought Leaping Laney Poffo. That was your first step into the popularity of the WWE or WWF at the time.
I always loved Brutus the Barber. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, because he would when he would put you in the sleeper hold and knock you out and cut your hair.
Yeah. And
I always wondered how he got away with that. Like, if it was just like some wrestler wanted a haircut, so he's like, "Can I fight Brutus this week?"
Yeah, you know, it's funny. They had never thought about that, but
because he really did cut their hair.
Yeah, he actually did.
I always liked that. I like those days when they all had their own like little sideshow. Like Rowdy Piper had the Piper's Pit, and Brutus had the barber shop, and Jake the Snake had the Snake Pit, and they would do like their little sideshows where that was always my favorite. They just stopped doing that after a while.
One of my favorite things was watching Randy Montoman Savage with Miss Elizabeth.
Yes.
And they were standing up on some tall cliff, and she was wearing a little fucking bathing suit. And he's up there doing his thing, and oh yeah, we gotta do this, and you know, you gotta prove your allegiance to be with me. He's like, I'm always with you, fucking man. You're the man. He's like, that's right, and he chucks her off a cliff. Just flies off the cliff and lands in the water. It's like, wow, what a dick.
I loved it when George the Animal Steel kidnapped her.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. That's right.
They had the big rivalry. He just came and nicked her at ringside one day and ran away.
Right?
I'm sorry?
He was a science professor.
Yeah, I knew he was something like that.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Those guys work hard. It's brutal. It's a brutal life. Like, I mean, some of them get to be The Rock, but most of them don't. And you're on the road for like 300 days a year. You get your ass kicked. Like, I tried it. I went to a fan day where I got to try it, and just those ropes hurt. Like, when you bounce off the ropes, take them in the armpit like they do 100 times a match, that fucking doesn't feel good.
No.
It's not, like, I don't care what you call fake, it hurts. And being that physical, I mean, you get a 300-pound guy who can do a double backflip from 10 feet off a little tiny rope. That's not fake. I don't care. That's athletic.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Anyway, funny that they all were crap. I had great ideas when I was planning on going to wrestling school, which I was very serious about for like maybe a week. I had some good characters planned out for myself. My one idea was to be the Fanatic, where two people would be wrestling, and every week just this crazy fan would run out of the audience and beat the crap out of both of them, and then disappear, and no one would know who the Fanatic was, and they'd all be scared while they were wrestling. Like, they'd be watching the crowd after a while, like, I wonder if he's out there, and they'd never know. That'd be cool.
Amazing.
My other one was to get all psychological on their asses, and I'd be the imposter. And anyone who I was wrestling, I'd dress just like them and do all their moves against them. And they'd be like, I can't fight myself, I don't know, get out of my head!
That's actually not a bad idea.
Dude, you gotta fight the imposter, and you're like, oh... It's very philosophical. It would have been good. Vince never returned my calls, though. And I couldn't afford the Heart School.
No, that wasn't fucking cheap.
No, it was $3,000 for the initial sign-up fee or whatever, and 2 out of every class of 50 actually graduate.
Fuck.
48 out of 50 people can't finish. Because it's too brutal. The training is just amazing.
That's incredible.
But those 2 are guaranteed, I think they're guaranteed 1 televised fight or something like that. And a 1-year contract.
Oh, I didn't know that they're actually guaranteed anything.
Yeah, they may not still be that. That's almost 20 years ago. I don't know if they've changed, but back then you got one television appearance and a 1-year contract. But though you got to be careful, because if you can be the guy who's touring 300 days a year and never on TV, you're going to you're the one who shows up at Abbotsford while all the big guys are in Vancouver, you know?
Yep. The Milton Mall, of all fucking places, my hometown of Milton here, they actually had the WWE. Well, at the time, WWF actually showed up, and they did a big promotional thing. They set up a ring in the middle of the fucking mall, and they actually had a big wrestling match. And Leaping Lanny Poffo was the main guy, which was awesome.
Holy shit, no wonder you love him.
It was a fucking dream. But the funny thing is I remember that was actually the day that I lost all interest in wrestling, was that day, and it is all because after watching a guy get kicked and punched in, like, over and over and over again, just getting beaten the shit out of the whole time, he gets chucked into the fucking corner of the turnbuckle, and he breaks his thumb the way he landed, his thumb bent sideways, and they called a match. He goes like, oh, my fucking head on! So they just called the match. I'm thinking, you just took, like, 14 kicks to the rib cage. I mean, like, you got stabbed, you know what I mean? Like, and this is what hurts you? Get that fuck out of here.
Yeah, and it always loses their, they lose a little bit of their star power after the match when you see them all picking out together at Cinnabon.
Yeah, it's true.
Doing it in the mall is not a real good idea, guys. It's like, you don't want to watch them not beat the shit out of each other and then be behind them at the line at Walmart. It's not as cool.
No, because when you got to see 3 of them stand there trying to put together enough money to buy, like, 2 items.
To buy their leotard. We're going to share this leotard. Okay. Wrestlers, I love you. Write in if you're a wrestler. Anybody out there a wrestler or want to be a wrestler or like wrestling? Jordan, our skateboarding buddy, he loves wrestling.
He's really into that?
He does that thing. You can go to a movie theater and watch, like, the pay-per-views, and he does that all the time.
No shit, really.
It's just like being there. No, it isn't. It's like,
no, I've only ever been to one real event. My uncle took me one time, and the most interesting thing that happened that night was when a fist fight broke out in the crowd, and the actual guys in the ring had to stop wrestling until the fight fucking ended.
That's hilarious. I went to one too.
Man, they were fucking throwing chairs at each other. It took them a whole corner. It was right in front of me. I was up on. I was one step up the stands, and it was right down in front of me. I was just like, wow, this is so much better than the actual bout.
Yeah, I went to the one, and it was in Winnipeg. My brother took me, and we went backstage to meet the wrestlers. Like, we snuck behind where all the vans were. Or buses, I guess you can. And that's when I met Paul Bearer. And Paul Bearer, this is back when The Undertaker was dead. He wasn't the biker guy, he was like the dead guy.
Yeah.
And Paul Bearer would carry the urn around, and his face was all fucked up. He's like, and we went around back, and Paul Bearer was standing there, and he's like, oh, guys, don't worry, he's running a little bit late, but he'll be out to sign autographs in a minute. And I was like, wait a minute, what? And he's like, he'll be right out. Don't worry about it. I'm like, where's your urn? And I was